Hi everyone. I wanted to do this short video as a response to the lovely Gina from Gina Stan Your Books tagging me in her recent video on rereading. It's a tag, apparently, and she's talking about her love of rereading, and she goes through a few books that she regularly rereads, like Wind in the Willows and Fellowship of the Ring, and a few others. And she was kind enough to mention a few booktubers and tag us in that video. And it was funny because when I started watching that video at lunchtime, I was thinking about the fact that I don't reread, and like I couldn't do a video like that because I don't reread. But then I did remember that during the pandemic, I don't know why, but I just had a want to reread one of my favorite books, The Secret History by Donna Tartt, because I hadn't read it since it came out. Like, wasn't that 30 years ago? It was in the 90s. And so I ordered it, I read it, and I was just annoyed. I mean, I'm 30 years older now, but I also chalk that up to just my mind frame. So I really take nothing from the fact I was annoyed by it. But the funny thing is, I don't even own it anymore. I own her other two books. But I guess when we moved, I decided, we moved in 2021. I don't know, just decided I donated it? Oh, anyway, I do have her other two books, and I read The Goldfinch in 2020. It was before or after The Secret History. I had it because we had just taken a scuba diving trip in December of 2019. And in this place we were staying, all of us were staying together, and there were people reading. And as we finished something, we would put our books on a shelf, and we were all trading books. And someone had this like well-worn copy of this size paperback, so it was even chunkier than this because she had been reading it the whole time by the pool, or in the pool, because she wasn't scuba diving. And so it smelled like sunscreen, and I loved it. And I guess when we moved, I donated that too. So I ordered another copy because I don't know, I guess I felt like I was going to reread it, but I loved it. It's just that it gets too long in the middle. And then, but I've tried to start reading again in 2020. I started to read The Little Friend, but I just could not get into it. But I intend on reading this. So as far as rereading The Secret History, I don't know whether I'm ever going to reread that. I don't think so. But just so happens that I've recently this year been thinking of the fact that I'm definitely going to reread some things that I read so long ago that I don't remember them, but I remember that they impacted me. They were seminal books for me. So one of the authors is Iris Murdoch, and I read 2 books of hers, maybe 3 books, and this would have been in the mid-'80s, late 80s. I was really young, and I was just discovering her, and I really need to figure out which ones I read to reread them. I haven't been able to figure that out yet. And then I want to reread Rebecca. Now this is a book, look how old this book is. Gina's going to love this book because it's vintage. I got this older book from not the library that I go to all the time, but my neighborhood library has a little store inside of it where they have used books. And this was in there. And it is a compilation of the romantic novels of Cornwall, which are Rebecca, Frenchman's Creek, and Jamaica Inn. You can tell by the picture that they used on the back, this is an older book. I can't tell how old it is, but it says Book Club Edition. At this point in time, I was really getting into reading for the first time dead authors. So that would have been Daphne du Maurier. I was also reading W. Somerset Maugham, and that's why I want to reread Of Human Bondage, because I've been thinking about Maugham, and I've wanted to keep reading some of his other books because I have some of them that I got at this same library store for a couple bucks. But I wanted to go back and read Of Human Bondage first because I remember that being a book that was affecting to me. I remember my experience of reading that book, but I just don't remember the book. So I would like to reread it. So I do have plans on rereading. I'm just not a regular rereader. So I would like to tag some booktubers also, but no pressure. I'd like to tag Sonia at An Enthusiastic Reader. Is she a rereader? I'm gonna lean towards she rereads sometimes. And then I'm going to tag Benjamin from Benjamin Journal. I don't think he's a rereader. Ben from Doom Antidote. I have a feeling he's a rereader, like revisiting some of his favorites, but not like a continuous yearly rereader. And the Grim Reader. I have a feeling she's a rereader. So we'll see. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for the tag, Gina. This was really fun. And I'll see you all later.